Welcome everyone, I'm Jordan Sharp with the NBA playoffs set to begin this weekend. It's time to run through an NBA future odds update. These odds from sportsbook.ag, and I'm going to run down the top 5 NBA Finals favorites for you here. Starting off with a team that's 2-1 right now, a favorite to win the NBA championship, and that's the Cleveland Cavaliers. Come into this game as an overwhelming favorite in the Eastern Conference. The Cavs, even though they probably won't be a cakewalk for them in this conference, they are going to probably at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Cleveland's combination of size and strength and athleticism really, I think, going to be too much for most of the Eastern Conference. They could potentially play a second-round matchup with the Chicago Bulls, which I'll get to later, which will be very interesting. However, at 2-1, Cleveland coming in as the co-favorite right now to win the NBA championship as of today. That other co-favorite is the Golden State Warriors, the #1 overall team in the NBA, heading into one of the most anticipated playoffs in Golden State Warriors history. They come in as 2-1 as well to win the NBA title this year. And as you can imagine, the West is going to be very, very difficult to come out of. However, Golden State pretty much is one of the most well-equipped teams to do that. They have a very deep bench. They have speed, they have youth, they have athleticism, they have very good shooting, and they play pretty good defense. So a lot could go into the Warriors here. 2-1, I definitely say they are a better value than the Cleveland Cavaliers, even though they would potentially have a harder road to get to the NBA Finals than Cleveland would. Coming in at 3-1, even though they slipped all the way down to 6th in the Western Conference, is the San Antonio Spurs at 3-1. They caught some bad luck yesterday, losing to the Pelicans, and a couple other teams winning to drop them all the way down to 6th here in the West. They're going to open up against the Los Angeles Clippers, which is going to be an extremely tough playoff matchup for either team. Would not surprise me one bit to see that series go 7 games, but at 3-1, still think San Antonio relatively fairly priced here. At 3-1, they definitely are still one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the Western Conference, probably one of the 5 best teams in the entire NBA right now. So even though the road is tough here, I think they can beat the Clippers potentially and beat another 2 teams as well to get to the NBA Finals. So don't count out San Antonio just yet. All the way down at 15-1 is the Atlanta Hawks, a team that was getting a lot more love earlier in the season, now down to not getting too much at all here from sportsbook.ag. They, of course, are going to at least avoid Cleveland until the conference finals, but it doesn't mean that their road isn't going to be laden with tough games. The winner of the Toronto-Washington series is probably going to give them a pretty tough matchup, and the first-round matchup might not be that hard, or might not be that easy either. So don't look at the Hawks as completely undervalued just yet at 15-1, but they are at least, I think, somewhat undervalued at 15-1. Coming in at 20-1, a team that I think probably has some really good value if they can get past Cleveland in the second round, is the Chicago Bulls at 20-1. Even though Derrick Rose left last night's game with a little knee soreness, apparently it was just precautionary. He is, of course, still coming back from a knee injury. It was his other knee, not the one he's most recently had surgery on. But 20-1, as long as everybody can stay healthy and they can put the chemistry together here heading into this playoff run against the Bucks, Chicago Bulls are actually a little bit undervalued, I think, at 20-1, but heading into it, it's going to be very difficult for them to beat Cleveland and Atlanta, I think, in 2 straight series. So it's a little bit of risk, but also could be pretty high reward for the Chicago Bulls. That'll do it for your future odds update. Make sure you check out some of my other articles today, as well as an injury update on some of the stars from the playoff-bound teams here. But until then, I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been another edition of the Sharp Pick.